Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to make a video talking to you all about why my crystals are different. And someone asked me this question and I really enjoyed the question there. They basically said, I don't wish to offend you, but how are your crystals different than the crystals in the stores? And I'm like, that's the best question I've ever been asked. I'm actually going to go in depth on this topic because you always will hear me say, get your tourmaline from FloridaStoneman.com. I don't often tell people that just go to whatever you can get. I mean, of course I sell gemstones, but if you ever pay attention, some people have bad reactions to gemstones. So I'm not just saying this from a bias, because sometimes if you guys were able to get tourmaline that was 100% good, that is something I suggest first, is just get whatever tourmaline you can get absolutely as fast as you can, but not all tourmaline's the same. So let's go back to some scientific basis here. So, and disclaimer, this is spirituality. So, and yes, I'm very excited to teach this topic. So, when it comes to gemstones, they're used in computers. They're used in science. They're used in quartz lenses. You can't do most biology without having a quartz lens. I'm not going to go too much into the biological aspects of it, but your brain has gemstones in it, or crystals, not gemstones. We consider amber a gemstone, so your brain has crystals in it. Your bones are technically considered something like crystal. We consider amber a crystal, so your bones definitely a crystal on that aspect as well. That's why they break. It's because they got overwhelmed. What happens to your crystals when they break? They get overwhelmed. So when it comes to gemstones, we consider gemstones to be like, basically there's amber. There's things that we don't consider gemstones to be gemstones, and it's all because of their programming. It's all because of basically how they operate. And there's actually a lot of people walking by my car, so I'd be surprised if they could see or hear me because I'm tinted. So, but I have a giant spotlight on me. So, crystals are used in your phone. You couldn't watch me right now if it wasn't for your gemstones. So, if you did not, yes, I keep an eye out I just keep my eye out, okay? I just keep my eye out. I make sure that no one's trying to like sneak up or anything because I'm ready. But and yeah, it's Florida. If you're not ready and you're not constantly looking around, then it's just foolish. But the Most High God protects the car as well. I'm just doing my part. So, and it's a very safe area. This is a high-end area too, so even then, eyes always peeled. But gemstones are programmed. They must be activated and they must be programmed. If you see on my website, I don't sell onyx for a very specific reason. It's because onyx is very, very challenging to program correctly. And some people won't understand this, so I'll give you an example. Have you ever gone to a crystal store, held a crystal, went to a crystal stall at like maybe a carnival, an event or something, and you held a crystal and you're like, okay, I know the energies. Some people will know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll hold obsidian, for example, and you'll hold the obsidian and like, you'll just be like, you'll feel something different on the obsidian or tourmaline or any other gemstone. You'll just be like, I have obsidian at home and I don't feel this when I touch my obsidian. I don't feel this when I touch mine. So a lot of people who have gone to different craft places, shows, and wherever, etc. I mean, you can cleanse and charge the crystal, but you don't know who programmed the crystal. It's kind of like, it's the easiest explanation is you bought a robot, and the robot came with preferences, or it came with a very specific pattern or behavior. So, for example, if someone dabbles and they're just an evil person, they're envious and they have a hateful life, and you get a gemstone from them, and I talked to someone about this, one of a very special person who I helped, they basically said they got a crystal from Etsy, and the seller was just rotten. And when they got the crystal, they felt all the healing and the trauma and the pain and sorrow and grief on the gemstone. I think they got, was it Vivinite? But they felt this energy on the gemstone. It's like, what the? And it's like, because they didn't cleanse it, the programming's still there. So when you cleanse and charge it, the programming's still on it. So crystals are used in computers. If you should see how these computers operate, and you should watch videos on how computers are built, how they actually operate in their programming. So it's all about programming. And sometimes you can program something to do something. Most of you are programmed for something right now and you don't know it. You programmed the crystals in your brains to bring you something that you don't like or something that you do like. I'll give you an example. You program the crystal in your brain by basically saying this is the easiest, most simple programming. If I see a pink car, that means a new form of financial abundance is coming to me. So your brain will start, your REM will start literally showing you pink car is just because you put it in your brain. You put it in your programming. So that is awesome, right? That's pretty good. But you have to ask yourself, when you get a gemstone, and just think about where these gemstones have been. And that's why I say, and that's one of the biggest things as well, sometimes maybe that person's a good person, they got some cheap crystals, you bought the crystal cheap, and you didn't know that crystal had the programming of a dead child on it. Let's talk about that. Oh, I got straight into that one. I did not sugarcoat that one at all. Some crystals, or a whole bunch of crystals, are actually out there. They're ones that are really cheap, or ones that are inexpensive, or sometimes they're priced authentically, but there's still child blood energy on it. What do I mean by, you have to Google. Let me talk. I should have introduced that a little nicer, because some people are like, they're like, what the? Because there's a whole trade where people have children literally die for crystals. You have to look on Google about that. You have to do your own research about that, because I can't really talk about that too much, because I'll get not happy. I'll be like, and you guys are, there's a whole bunch of you, and I'll start like getting fiery. So I'll be like, okay, let's get to that happy subject. So, and yeah, a whole bunch of people like, well, I got my crystal cheap. I got a $5 crystal, and the crystals, basically, it feels like it's haunted. And then the person who gets the cheap crystal now thinks the crystal is demonic because there's a dead child's energy on it, and it's acting like it feels like the child's haunting the person, and most likely it is. The child's probably haunting the person because the person was greedy, they didn't care, or they just didn't care enough to the point where they care about getting an ethically harvested gemstone. And that's that. I remember I talked to a woman in Starbucks a long time ago, and she basically said she was like traumatized by gemstones. She's like, whenever I see a gemstone, I see the face of a dead child. I'm like, it's because you've been buying unethically harvested crystals. And like, this woman's just like psyched out. She's like, oh, like she's into crystals, but she's like kind of afraid of them at the same time. It's because she got a crystal that had bad programming on it. Look what they're doing in China. I can't talk much about it. Look what happened in Afghanistan a long time ago. I remember I didn't have lapis for a very long time because of certain trade things going on, which I can't teach about that on here. I just can't. You have to do your own research. So even with clairtangency, there's a gift of clairtangency. You'll touch an item. And for people who have a thrift store item, let me give you an example right now. Grab your thrift store items and put it to your third eye. Look at the first thing that pops in your mind's eye. You'll start seeing, for the people who are gifted, you'll start seeing the whole life of the person who owned the gemstone. Some people are getting thrift store crystals, but you're seeing the entire life, or you might see the entire life. You'll see a whole bunch of flashes or images from any kind of thrift store item. So crystals are literally data savers, especially quartz or anything along the lines of what quartz develops to in the ground. Any kind of form of silica. So it saves. Silica saves, okay? So what happens when you get a Florida Stoneman gemstone? Because I gave you all the background information. I'm telling you, I'm not teaching this from a bias. Of course, someone who sells gemstones is going to say they have the best gemstones. But I program my gemstones very specifically so that when you get it, you feel the actual energy of the gemstone alone. On top of that, you'll feel holy energies. So gemstones are actually originated from the heavens. God gifted them to earth. God made the heavens and the earth. They are all throughout heaven. So even Revelation talks about that. I believe it's Revelation 21, but they were in the Garden of Eden. They're very holy and very sacred. The Lord told his high priest, Aaron, to make sure he wore sacred garments of 12 gemstones, and so it would be passed down. So when it comes to my gemstones, my beautiful angels, and there's a whole bunch of angels. For the people who know, they know. I'll give you an example. I can go down a list because I have a very, very specific way I bless and program crystals. The angels literally infuse the way that I bless the gemstones, they literally infuse themselves with the gemstones. So when you guys get gemstones from me, you're getting a holy, sacred gemstones. So there's no any attachment. So some people just don't care. So, for example, if you got crystals from someone who's surrounded by demons and they're just a really awful person, their demons will want to check up on you because it's linked to them. So it's unfortunate, but that's exactly how it works. Now, when it comes to gemstones and factory reset, that's why I don't sell onyx, is because I'm still coming up with rituals how to factory reset onyx. And it just started raining. Oh, holy rain. It wasn't raining. There's no rain clouds around like that. How cool. 7 drops of rain at my windshield. So when it comes to my tourmaline, someone will get tourmaline from somewhere else, and then they'll even just hold a package from FloridaStoneman.com and be like, what the? There's so much energy coming off the package. What is this? It's years of experience, years of my past life that I've incorporated. There's a lot of, and there's just rain coming down out of nowhere right now. So the gemstones are holy, and I believe it's coming down because rain that comes from nowhere, when I'm speaking about something holy, it's actually holy. It's holy rain. Rain is the original holy water. It comes from the sky. It comes from the heavens. So now that's the thing too. With gemstones, I mean, they're very energy sensitive. Let me talk about this. I will never even touch a gemstone for anyone else if I'm 90% balanced, 95% balanced. I won't do that. It's because you're supposed to be 100%, and you're supposed to be honest to yourself too before you touch a gemstone. I've had certain days where, for example, if someone, like, if I got into, let's just say because sometimes I'll get fiery in public. I'm like, hey, like, chill out. Like, for example, if I see someone harassing someone else, I'll get into very fiery, and I'll just basically snap at a person. Like, hey, leave this person alone. Like, get away from them. Like, just don't bother them. Like, let them bind. I mean, just leave them alone. Because sometimes people need someone to stand up for them. So I will do that. God put me here to basically help out. Let's just say that. So sometimes I'll go home and I'll be 95% home. So I'm in perfectly good mood, but I'll just sit to myself. And then if it's in my subconscious and I don't know it, so if that fiery energy is still there, I'll just tell you, St. Michael himself will just say, pick a different day to do gems. Don't do this today. Don't touch the crystals today. Let your crystals heal you. Don't infuse the gemstones with any kind of chaos or just anything from earlier. So I'll wait and 95% balance is still very good. So most people would just be like, well, I'll just make this and send it to them. No, you can't do that. I'll tell you right now, now let's get into it. If someone is extremely lonely and they're making crystals or they're touching crystals, you'll use the crystals and you're going to feel lonely and you're not going to know why. You're not going to know why. You're going to feel needy. You're going to feel like you want someone and that's not even you. You might have someone and you just might stop being happy with them. It's just like, what happened? So it's the crystals were healing the trauma, plus they got a programming, like a default programming. It's called a default programming from whoever they were on before. So if that person was really lonely and they had relationship problems and they were healing that, and the crystal was just in their house for a while and they didn't even realize it, and they're not even wearing the crystal, or if it's just around them, then boom, you just picked up things that were not even yours, and now it's healing things that it shouldn't be healing first because it was healing that in the last person. That's why I don't recommend you guys gift crystals like that after you've been wearing them for a while, or even an ancestor who has been alive for a long time who's wearing a crystal gemstone necklace, that you just get rid of the necklace because that contains their energies, and that doesn't help them ascend like that. Because the traumas, I just got a whole flashback. Jesus, I just got an entire flashback just overriding my vision, just like. So yes, one of my ancestors just literally just like tucked me into like a vision. I'm like, whoop, holy moly! I'm seeing jewelry boxes and I'm seeing everyone going through jewelry boxes and stuff like that, and it's an intense vision. I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And then people prizing and then attach themselves to the gemstones like that. But back to the topic, because I'm just having an incredible deep vision about all these different like diamonds and earrings and stuff like that from someone's grandmother. Holy moly! A whole revelation of information and insight from one of my ancestors. So, and yes, I mainly talk to angels, but my ancestor can give a message to my angel to give a message to me, because that's the cleanest way of communication. So it's kind of like passing an envelope or a DM. You're just kind of forwarding it. So when you get a crystal from Florida Stoneman, you know that crystal's purified. You know and I'm about to give away a secret here. You know that crystal's clean. You know it's factory reset. You know it's holy. You know it's sacred. You know there is no dark energy on it, and there's nothing but light energy. You know there's no demonic attachment. You know there's angels of God who bless the gemstone, and basically, people are blasting music in a quiet area. So you know that you know that the gemstone is clean and pure and full of positive energy. And I have made an extreme amount of accomplishments in this lifetime. Let's just say the secret is some of the accomplishments are kind of passed on through my jewelry. So if I've opened a gift that humans can't open, when you get the gemstone, it opens it in a safe way, slowly, just because I'm able to do that. So it makes your spiritual journey easier, and a whole bunch more. There's more secrets too. There's a lot more secrets. So your crystals from floridastonman.com are very special. I don't share the deepest secrets of the rituals that I do to clean them, because sometimes it can be complex. To make sure a crystal has no one's energy on it, and to make sure it has angel's energy, and yes, I say that it has no one's energy, but my energy at the same time, simply because I touch it. It's not like, for example, when the post office person gives you the package, it doesn't even have their energy because the selenite cleanses and charges it. So it has the programming to be programmed by you, if that makes sense. So hopefully it didn't confuse you guys. Hopefully it's it's straightforward information. There's a lot to crystals. Like, think about it like this. It's as simple as programming a computer, because crystals are pretty much automatic computers. So if I were to describe how to make a computer in one video, or how a computer operates in one video, it's kind of like describing crystals. So if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Get your crystals from floridastonman.com. I will not recommend other people's gemstones, just because I've done that in the past, and I'm not going to say it backfired, but I'm like, you know what? I wish I didn't recommend that person, because the person can change. The person can go into darkness. I've seen people actually auction their souls off who sell gemstones. I've seen it. Male, female, etc. So people take bad contracts, etc. And then they're still selling gemstones. And I'm like, what the? And then there's still people, I'm like, I'm just going to recommend myself. The Lord put me here for a very specific reason, and it's to help you guys. Plus, there will be people who will be teaching about gemstones they don't even have. So, does that make sense? Well, I heard this gemstone. Well, I'm actually wearing the gemstone. I have experience with every single gemstone. I'm wearing every gemstone in the world on my arms, and on my legs, and around my head. And there's parts of me that you can't see that have crystals on me as well. There's crystals on my crystals. Let's just say that. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. I have a whole back full of crystals. Ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. You can get a custom DM. I'm getting excited because the custom necklaces have been helping people very greatly. But you can get a custom necklace from floridastonman.com, then DM FloridaStoneman on Instagram to discuss your custom necklace. You can also get a tourmaline necklace. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!